guys, it's Meredith Leon McCormick for World Bride Magazine. Again, I want to thank you for your continued support. Our numbers are soaring on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Thank you. We are so grateful and thankful for all your continued support. As we promised, we are going to continue to bring you some of our favorite professionals in the beauty, the fashion, and the event planning industry of the wedding market. So today I'm bringing my daughter-ish, because she's not really my daughter, but I swear to you, this young woman has soared since we worked together in the fashion industry. Miss Sashanie Gray, woo woo! Hey daughter,
Thank you.
you are so gorgeous. I love the hair. You look stunning.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
How have you been holding up during this COVID-19?
I'm living. I'm still living life. I still consider myself thriving. I have breath.
You absolutely
I have health.
are.
Yeah, I have breath. I have health. I have peace. I have joy. I'm well. All is well.
Yes, it is. So I wanted to first tell people that you and I have an extensive history together. We worked together at Miami Swim. You came and was part of my team during Miami Swim. You came highly recommended. I cannot even remember who recommended you, but instantly I fell in love with your infectious personality. You were just so bubbly, and there was nothing too big or small that you weren't ready to do when it came to working with the models. I think at one point we had 35 models, and it was just you and I and maybe two other people, and we were just knocking them out. And we're not just talking about one show. We had show back to back to back because we were the only nail team during Miami Swim. I was so impressed by you and your work and your talent and your leadership skill that I'm like, you coming to New York? You got on a plane and you were like, I'm here. And again, I could trust to leave you, and you engaged with the models just brilliantly, and they fell in love with you, and one thing led to another, and you became an educator, an ambassador. Now you have your own tool line, and you launched it in the middle of a what? Pandemic?
Of a pandemic? Yes.
What? You want to talk about leadership. Give us a little bit of history about why did you start in the nail industry? What brought you into it?
Oh, wow. As far back as I can have memory, as a little ankle muncher, 3-4 years old, just at nail height. So if I'm standing next to my mom, my eyes are at her hand height, and I would just sit and stare at my mother's nails. I'll never forget. She always wore like this gorgeous nude. I think it was like Revlon 27 back then or something like that. And I would my mouth would drool, and I would be like, Mom, I want nail polish on my nails. And she'd be like, no. And eventually she allowed for me to get my nails done when I was 13 years old. That was my first professional manicure, and I have not looked back since. After getting my nails done that very first time, they were polished and manicured to perfection. And then I went elsewhere, and they were horrible. And I was like, you know what? I think I can do this myself. So I used my allowance money. Back then I was living in Toronto, so I went to Shoppers Drug Mart, and I got my nail supplies. And I have been practicing the art of nails seriously, with all intent, since the tender age of 13 years old. It's one of those things where they say that you're just born to do this.
You knew you were born for that.
I knew I was born to be in this industry in some capacity. All the capacities at first I wasn't aware of. They just kept on unfolding the more I surrendered to it. But here I am.
But you know what? Just hearing you describe that, your curiosity and your desire for to learn and appreciation for beauty and products shows why you succeeded so much in this industry, because you were always open to learn. You were curious about something, and I wanted to learn about it, and you did it. You made it happen. So what would make you launch a product in the middle of a pandemic?
Well, that was our original launch date. We had products in hand, everything, all the ducks were in a row, and we're like, we're not going to allow for this to stop our launch. The most we did was, I wouldn't say pivot our why, but add to it. So the reason why we even came up with these tools is because through my travels of being a lead national educator for one of the largest global beauty brands in the world, L'Oreal, I would teach them the skills. I would teach them the theory. I would give them everything that they need in order to get the same results that I wanted them to yield. However, they still weren't getting it. And it wasn't that they didn't know what to do. It was the fact that they weren't properly equipped with the proper manicure tooling.
Right.
And Meredith, these were huge accounts, very well-known high-end spas. You know, like the Four Seasons, the Ritz-Carlton. These are people that are charging, $90-something upward for a regular traditional manicure. And that's when I had the first epiphany that they needed to have access to affordable and quality tooling. It wasn't that they didn't have tooling available to them. It was the quality of tooling that was available to them. Just, it was subpar for, that echelon of a business entity. So that's when I had the first epiphany to provide for them the proper tooling. And then in the process of creating the tools, my mother went to one of the local nail salons and contracted a foot fungus. And she got better and wanted to go somewhere else. Of course, she wasn't going to go back to that one place. And she took one of my prototypes with her. And she was like, I just feel so much safer bringing my own tools. I don't know if they're sanitizing properly, yada, yada, yada. And this is a 3.8 or is it 8.3? I think I'm a little dyslexic. But this is $1 billion industry.
Yep. 3.6.
But I don't think this is $1 billion industry for nails. I think it's $1 billion industry for convenience. People are popping in, popping out. Their rate of return is in and out, in and out. So the odds of them sanitizing their tools properly, I'm not sure. But I don't want to gamble with that. Just in case they are, I still don't want to gamble. Let's empower the consumer by providing them with their own professional manicure tooling to take with them to their nail appointments. That way they never have to guess if these tools have been used by anybody else. And that was that aha moment that I have to thank my mother for. And then the pandemic happened, COVID happened. And everything right now is extra sanitation. I'm like, this is the perfect time to launch these, because originally they were meant for the professional market. Now I can incorporate the consumer. I can not be a part of the consumer market with these tools by empowering the consumer.
I think everything you just said is a reflection of what I've always known, because I've been in the industry for 30 years in the nail industry. And literally before then and during then, working with people, I couldn't understand why they were charging $5 for a manicure, $10 for a pedicure, $15. And I was like, there's absolutely no way you can get quality service, quality products at that rate, because the product, a good quality tool, is way higher than that in cost. So
absolutely.
And then I don't have the time to sanitize, because if I'm only charging a person $15 for a service, a manicure and pedicure, and I have to split that with the salon owner, there's no way I'm making enough to buy tools and sustain a life. and my family. So it made
Right.
absolutely no sense. So now, to me, that's the breeding ground for everything that can come from it. Sickness, bad tools, infections. And then people started to claim that it was the manicurist that was giving them fungus and this and this and that. It made me even more sensitive about being a manicurist and the professionalism in it. So I tried harder on a higher level to make sure, and it came with the cost, and the right people came. The ones that wanted and
Absolutely.
valued it, did it, paid the price with no complaint, because they knew they were getting a higher level of service and they felt they were worth it. And thus the reason why, when you're telling me all of this, it makes perfect sense. And it's sad that it's taking 3 decades for people to get it, and now a pandemic to realize your tools are accessible now to every consumer that wants it and can possibly do their own nails in their own home.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, they can do their own nails in their own home, or they can also take their professional tooling with them to their nail salon.
And that takes away all the risk factors of whether or not, oh, is it clean? Is it this? Because we used to give each client that came into my nail salon when I owned one, they had their own kit, prepackaged kit. They could either take it home with them, or they can leave them with their nail, with their name on it. And they knew they paid extra for it, but so many were so happy for it. But besides you just being the aesthetic queen, please tell us your design. You are one of the most brilliant designers, artists in the nail industry. What brought that? Do you have an art background?
I do have an art background. I studied fine arts back in Toronto. I'm classically trained in the arts. And fun fact, when I first started, I didn't even incorporate the two. It was somebody who I was practicing on when I was doing it for free. She was like, you know, hey, can you put a hibiscus on my finger? And I was like, if you notice, I do classy nails. I don't do urban nails. And she was like, no, that's not what I mean. Like, I know you can draw. Can you literally paint a hibiscus on my finger? And I was like, oh, interesting. Let me see what I can do. And I just became hooked. I went from traditional canvases or digital canvases to little canvases.
Wow.
So yeah, I do have a background in fine art.
I love that. I think it's brilliant, and I'm so proud of the way you've pivoted your career and you've melted both worlds. And I understand that now you are about to include education into your business and the DNA of your business. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. I think the time has come in my career where I get to pay it forward with all the skills and knowledge that I've gained so far. It's just like what you did for me, you know, back in 2012, where you poured into me. I think it's time to come. The time has come in my own career to pour back into my community. So for the month of September, we're going to be launching Sash Pro U. It is an educational system that's providing higher educational support for the nail professional, where we transform the nail tech to the nail professional.
Wow. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you. Where can people sign up for your classes and keep up with you and buy the products? What's your website? All that information.
My website, it's my namesake, www.SashaniGrayNails.com. Do people still say www?
They don't have to say it anymore.
Right. Okay. So the website is SashaniGrayNails.com.
Perfect.
That is the website.
I'm so proud of you. Thank you so much for your time. And I'm obsessed with your Instagram, so I am going to continue to stalk you, and proud of you.
Thank you.
Until the next time, ciao bella, my love.
Ciao bella.
So guys, I'm telling you, this is one of the most brilliant artists manicurist, and it has nothing to do with my personal relationship with her, but it actually is because she is truly talented and gifted. And what you see on the camera, the little that you see on the camera, that is who she is, the personality. Please feel free to follow her and book her for private appointments. She does make them, and she has a swell team. So until the next time, ciao bella.